Ben Tomoloju trained at the University of Ibadan and graduated in English and Literary Studies. Between 1975 and 1978, he also had full training in theatre, after which he got engaged in various artistic activities like the performative aspects of the Greek tragedies. Some of his celebrated plays, which are way too numerous to mention here, include Let the Vanguard Come to Town, Jankari War, This Proverb, Muje Muje, Amono, Askari, Iphigenia Meets Ayelala, and many more. As a journalist, BT, or Papi Ben, as he is fondly known, served as editor of the Guardian newspaper in Lagos and has since retiring from there continued to create, produce, and direct while also serving as a consultant on creative and media activities. As a singer songwriter, he has hundreds of chart topping numbers under his belt, including Ekbobiriki, the clarion call or anthem of Nigerian actors and theatre practitioners, Ajakumbo, the hit by Ras Kimono, and of course, the theme music for this channel, which he has graciously allowed us to use. I'm sure those of you out there who have been writing to ask me about the title, creator, and how you can access the song will be happy to have him share his wealth of experience as a playwright, actor, orator, essayist, musician, culture communicator, activist, director, and journalist with us. Welcome to the Sankofa Pan-African series. Please support us through Patreon and by buying me coffee so we can continue to bring you this series. Subscribe if you've not yet done so, and please turn on your notification buttons so you know when we have new episodes. Share our videos with all your contacts and make time to check out our new website, sankofastorybooks.com, for history, Afrocentric stories, and other resources for our children. BT, welcome. I'm so excited to be having this session with you. So let's start by taking you back a bit. What was it about your childhood and growing up that led you to become such a multifaceted cultural practitioner?
Thank you for that. It's a question that I seem to have prepared myself for all my life because I was born into a culture that flourishes in music. That is, being an Ilaje man from the riverine part of Ondo State. And we have what we call the Ilaje spirituals, highly polyphonic songs, highly harmonized songs, spiritual and inspirational songs. And so my own compositions have to reflect, they do reflect this kind of music. And also with some religious bent, you know. And of course, the dramatic aspect derives from the larger masquerade cult, of which my late grandfather was a patron. Apart from being a high chief of a king line rank, I am a prince in my own right, and I had access to some fringe aspects of the masquerade performances, to the extent that I learned how to do makeup, to carve a bit of masks, even with my machete, and then robe myself in the costumes. And I did this even at the age of 9. I took my masquerade to town. So when we're talking about my drama, about the spectacular aspect of it, about the lyrical aspect of it, about the poetic aspect of it, and then, of course, the conversational and profundity of thoughts embedded in this. Of course, you can then understand that it came right from back in time.
In your play and songwriting, how do you strive for a ratio or balance between entertainment and the kind of activism to which you have dedicated so much of your professional career? I ask this because I don't know that many upcoming playwrights and songwriters who are succeeding as well as you have in the kind of balance that you have achieved with your iconic plays like Jankariwo and even Ororeo Koko, which we now use as our theme music for this channel. These are just two examples out of your rich body of work. You might want to illustrate with others.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for acknowledging the humanizing principles in my works, especially in my plays. I, for one, do not believe in art for art's sake, although talking in this manner might appear to be a cliche, but it is a truism. I mean, for those of us who are committed artists, committed and socially connected, socially conscious writers. So, I also want to appreciate the fact that you've used my song Orori, which is a satire on the Nigerian economic situation, with biting criticisms, of course. It's all right. It's all right. It shows the relevance also of even that song. Now, uh, I have an inclination towards socialistic, principles, although I detest being tagged. For instance, I gave a lecture at the University of Ibadan some years back, and somebody said, Uncle Ben, I know that you are a revolutionary artist. And I said, no, hold it, man. Don't tag me. I don't want to be called revolutionary. I don't know, because even revolutions have been betrayed and they've been cheapened, even in Nigeria here. So I don't want to be tagged, but I, of course, consciously work towards making my plays to address critical issues of society towards the redemption of that same society. So I also do so in my songs. And it's paid for me because I never put on a play that people will just shoo shoo upon. They say that is relevant. Even plays, all my plays, no matter how far back I've written it. Cataclysm was written in the university days in the 70s, and somebody put it on stage in Abuja recently, and I got the information that, well, it seems as if this is exactly what is happening in this country today. So it's something I'm proud of and I appreciate. But concerning the young ones, I hate to criticize them just like that. They have their own generation to run. They have their own parameters, their own standards. But of course, there has to be an enduring standard. I don't want to say that they are all doing it right. There are some of them who are just pecuniary in their dispositions. But I also want to mention there are some that are very fantastic in their works, who are socially conscious. Segun Adefila, Dagatola, and quite a number of them. Joshua Labi, these are young people that I appreciate and I think they're going places.
As a veteran journalist, what are the challenges that you see facing the media in Nigeria today, especially as we approach what is turning out to be an epoch election in the annals of Nigeria?
Okay. Journalism. Well, now I'm a veteran journalist. There's no tag again. I say no tag. A journalist remains a journalist anytime. You do your job the right way, do the right thing, and then you get the right result. However, uh, I am inclined to be critical of a new brand of intelligentsia, the Nigerian intelligentsia, crystallizing in even the senior journalists. Some of them have sold their souls to the mercantilist tendencies. In this era of politics, I've been quite embarrassed by the relationship of some of my colleagues whom I had once respected to political prostitution, in which case black is not called black, but black is white and white is black. That kind of a paradoxical, ambivalent, portraiture of society. The politicians in Nigeria are ready to corrupt anybody, and we must keep a straight conscience. Apart from the merchandising of journalism, which in my days, as an editor, I criticized, even while allowing that the profession should at least be able to make money for its own sustenance, the tendency to sell, the enterprise to the highest bidder is a bit of a big concern to me. And then it now goes to individual practitioners. It also goes to this body of intelligentsia in Nigeria. The kind of political affiliations they have are demeaning of the profession.
As someone who was there at the inception of the now buoyant Nollywood, please share some of your contributions towards the birth of the industry and your hopes for, how you would like to see the industry progress in future.
Oh, you have put me at a pedestal that I never dreamt I could be, because what is most popular about Nollywood now is celebrity, glamour and all that stuff. And those who know me know I don't belong in that area. I'm a critic, I'm a writer. I haven't had much to do in terms of the Nollywood culture, popular culture as we know it today, beyond the fact that, yes, I was there at the inception, not as a performer as such, but more as a critic, more as a journalist, editor, reporter, somebody who sets the right agenda for a subsector which we consider very lucrative and which a number of people have taken advantage of, perhaps in the wrong way. The little I've done in terms of performance was to act in a Yoruba movie called Owuro Lojo, produced by SJ Productions, the combination of Mr. and Dr. Mrs. Oyinsan. They were family friends, and I was there with Joke Silva and the husband Olu Jacobs acted as a doctor. Tunji Shotimire was also there on that show. Young Salome Ketunde was there in that show. And so we had a very fantastic experience. And of course, the landmark for Urolojo was that it was the first subtitled Yoruba movie in Yoruba movie subtitled in English. So it was very ambitious, and I like to associate myself with such endeavor. However, I feel that there are things that are going wrong. People do not probe into the fundamentals of a profession before engaging in it. They just see it as glamour, like I said, and it's just take advantage of the financial returns and not put anything cerebral into it. Except for a few people. Let us appreciate Ladi Ladibo. Let us appreciate Baba Ogunde as the topmost. Let us appreciate Tunde Kelani. Let us appreciate uh, Wa- Tadeo Gidon, and quite a number of people who are very cerebral in what they produce. Uh, but beyond that, it's not been so encouraging.
What was your motivation for writing Ogorun Itan, a rich collection of Nigerian folk tales written in Yoruba, and why are such works relevant today?
Thank you very much. Ọgọ́rùn-ún ìtàn láti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá means 100 folk tales from Yoruba land. Motivation wise, I have always written my songs in Yoruba, even supportive of my plays in English expression. I have always also written songs for the television ritual performances that I was doing those days. So it's not strange. It's not been strange for me to express myself in Yoruba. But for Ọgọ́rùn-ún ìtàn láti ilẹ̀ Yoruba, the immediate motivation was from a very, very highly respected member of this society, Dr. Bukar Usman, who is a leading folklorist, and he has been collecting folk tales and even writing both in Hausa and in English, some of the folk tales as it is. I mean, he's been creating some in the motif of the traditional folk tales. And so he then spread the dragnet around and gave me a commission to gather folk tales across the Yoruba land and um, translate them, distill them, give them creative polish. And eventually he called on me and said, "Yeah, you should edit this." And I edited it. I also, I also gave it indeed some creative polish, which ended up with the publication of 100 of the about 200 folk tales that I collected from across Yoruba land. And it's been a challenge, and I really enjoyed it because we had to do the accent, we had to do the tone marks, we had to write Yoruba the way Yoruba should be written and read pleasurably. This is something to take me back home to Ilaje, the coastal and riverine jewel of Ondo State, right here in Nigeria. Angadeu ọmọ òmùrò, Ilaje, ayé máa fúgè, àwáyé yìí ràn ó. Àwa ti yé nàtijọ́ aláyé ti dáyé, a ti yé títí ayérayé. Orígo, orígo, orígo mẹ́ta bọ̀dé rà, orígo, èyí mo lẹ́gbà bọ̀dé nílẹ̀ àorígo.
Thanks for watching. Please support us through Patreon and by buying me coffee. Subscribe and turn on your notification buttons. Don't forget to share our videos with your contacts and keep your comments coming. Also, check out our new website, sankofastorybooks.com, for history, Afrocentric stories, and other resources for our children.